What up, no?
I'm Dustin.
I'm Travain. And this is Dustin and Travain's Hanging Game, where we sit around and we game while we hang and we talk about different games also while we hang. So, today what we're going to be talking about is our top 5 favorite Pokemon from Generation 1. So, everyone grab a Poke seat, get you some Poke popcorn, and Poke listen. Dustin?
My Poke number 5 is Rhydon.
Why?
I always liked Rhydon because when I was a kid, when I would draw dinosaurs, I would always give it just that generic like rhino horn at the end of its nose, and I always liked the idea that that was the original Pokemon. That is the first Pokemon ever created.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was really cool.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I like his drill horn.
It's a pretty cool drill horn.
Ace hardware.
Mm-hmm.
Drill lows, dog.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite, actually my top 5, is Chansey. Chansey is my number 5.
Okay.
I love me some Chansey in all honesty. And it's really just because, one, it's an HP tank.
Yeah.
You know, I love some Pokemon games, clearly.
Yes.
I'll EV train it. It's a great HP tank, and also the Pokédex entry for Chansey says anyone who catches it will be brought to complete happiness, or something along the lines of that.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone can't tell, look how happy I am.
Okay.
What's your top 4?
My number 4 is the manliest Pokemon to ever exist. Butterfree.
Oh,
Yeah.
poor guy.
No.
Alright.
It's mostly nostalgic reasons. When I first played Pokemon, I had no idea what evolution was, so when my Caterpie all of a sudden changed shape into a Metapod and into a Butterfree, it blew my little 10-year-old mind. And it was the entire reason I got through my first gym badge. So, now for pure nostalgic reasons, every time I play Red or the remakes, I always get a Butterfree on my team.
Understandable. What a weird choice, though.
Nah, it's a great choice.
Okay. My number 4 is Slowbro, honestly. I do like some Slowbro. And I think one of the reasons for me liking Slowbro is the fact that it's his backstory. It starts off as a Slowpoke, then all of a sudden a Shelter bites his tail, and then it becomes a Slowbro. Also, it has a big dopey smile, and it makes me happy. I want to hug him every time I see him. And if any of you people out there have a problem with Slowbro, come at me, Slowbro.
Boo. Boo. No.
Whatever.
No.
Number 3.
Okay, number 3. My number 3 goes to Nidoking. One thing you know about me, everyone needs to learn about me, is I love giant monsters.
Spot the lie.
And one thing about Nidoking's design is, like, if you blew him up, he totally looks like he could square off with Godzilla. And he has a more than passing resemblance to a giant monster by the name of Baragon. So because of that, I've always liked Nidoking.
Nidoking does sweet suplexes, by
He
the
does.
way. My number 3 is Machamp. Reason for that is I'm into working out, and I am an avid fan of wrestling. As my wrestling friend here will tell you, he is a wrestler himself. And also, you know, I just have a fond memory of trading a Machoke to one of my friends. I got a Machamp from it. He traded it back, and I went and battled another one of my friends. And I just remember absolutely demolishing his crew with a barrage of like low kicks, karate chops, and just to finish it all off, I put his last Pokemon in a submission. So that's just something I've always thought that was kind of cool. And I don't know, I just whooped his Rudy Poo candy ass that way. And, you know, I was new champion, and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold Slowbro said so. What happened?
Macham's basically just forearm Brock Lesnar, that's all that is.
No, he doesn't F5 people.
He might.
Seismic toss though. I mean,
Yeah.
what do we know about that animation?
There you go. There you go. Alright, so, number 2.
Number 2.
My number 2 goes to Dragonite.
Dragon Newsom.
But there's always a mystique to Dragonite, because in the 151, the only Dragon-type Pokemon were Dratini, Dragonair, and Dragonite. Dragonite was very difficult to get. And it's just all about this mystique. The dragon's supposed to be these big mythological creatures, and now there's plenty of dragon types, but before there was just Dragonite.
Yeah.
So it's always got that mystique effect to me, at least. Even if he does look like a big dopey Disney dragon.
Nah, see, he only looks like that when he's in sunlight. If you remember, I believe it was the movie or actually it might have just been an episode where they show a silhouette of him.
Oh yeah, the giant dragon.
Yeah, and it's just like, what is that thing? And it's just like comes in the light. He's all like, hey, where the hugs at though? If you don't hug, Dragon Rage. I can't say my number 2 because that is my number 2 right there. So double explanation for the price of 1, 2.
Bro power.
So number 1, back to you.
My number 1 is Bulbasaur. It's my favorite starter. Of all the starters, Bulbasaur's always been my favorite.
Even of all the starters.
Yes.
Bulbasaur.
And again, it goes back to nostalgia, which is a big part of all my picks on this list is nostalgia. But
one, of course.
But Bulbasaur taught me also how to be strategic with my Pokemon. My biggest accomplishment that I say I'm most proud of is when I beat a level 50 Arcanine with a level 40 to 45 Venusaur.
Blaine.
Yeah.
That's not a game. Like, I swear to you, dude. I think you and I have had this conversation once before. Blaine is not a joke if you don't have the right team.
No.
Like, you can't go in to his gym thing. Like, even the trainers in the gym, it was a pattern like that.
Yeah.
Like a snake way. No. Like, not a game. None of them are. I remember there was one scientist in there who had a mug, and he destroyed some of my crew.
Which is so weird considering it was a fire gym.
Yeah,
but it was.
You would think he would have been with Koga.
Yeah,
that's what I would have thought anyway.
Yeah.
Well, my number 1 is Poliwhirl. I know that's a really random for number 1, especially for the first 151. But my reasoning for Poliwhirl is because my friend here, he back in the day, he was in middle school, gave me. He gave me some Pokemon manga, Pokemon Adventures actually, and the first issue it shows Red. He has a Poliwhirl named Polly, and I don't know, it's kind of like with you and Bulbasaur. It's a big nostalgia factor for me. Just seeing how strong it was in the manga, it just honestly made me want to have my own. And once I caught one, I believe in Blue version around Indigo Plateau, I caught one there. From that day forward, I was like, every game that I am able to get you, I will have you. And I've always named, this is the only Pokemon I've ever nicknamed that I've always named it Polly. Bully. I hate Poliwrath, by the way. It's stupid.
Poly games.
Poly games. So, that concludes our first top 5 Pokemon list. We're probably going to do in the future the rest of the generations as well. We just wanted to start with the first generation because it's the best generation.
It's the one we grew up with.
Yep, I like Generation 3.
I do too.
Generation 3 went there, guys. And that concludes our first video. What up, Matt?
Hey, guys.